Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the new show. Everything, how you been? Good evening. I hope everybody is well and you are having a great Monday evening. We are on early a bit, just in case I get joined earlier by our special guest, Nick Halafihi. So we are in the fifth round of the Challenge Cup. Was it the way we wanted? No. Mark Aston has already said that he was a bit disappointed, to say the least, about the performance and certain players that he wasn't happy with. But in Tubby, we trust as always. So we go that way, as always do with the Eagles chat. So anyway, if you want to join us, you are more than welcome to come on and join us and ask Nick anything you wish. You come along, maybe like that. And or you want to chat about yesterday's game, you are most welcome to do so. Sorry, we've been away. I had work commitments last week and we didn't have any game as well. So it would have been a very short episode. Before we start, we just want to say we'll get well soon to my favorite co-host and partner in crime, Mr. Mark Webster. He's in bed with food poisoning and he's not very well. So he's not going to be joining us this evening. I'm hoping that everybody else will be sending Mark best wishes and hopefully that everything will be coolio and he will be back to normal as of next week. Now, if you didn't see the incident and didn't see the post last week, Sheffield Eagles have got on sale right now selections of the first team jerseys that they wore last season, the purple third away kit, and available at the price of £50 per shirt. Limited availability for any of the jerseys that you wish to have, but I'm sure there's lots of people will be out there ready to take the orders of everyone that they know. Right, let's get into it. Yesterday's match. Did anybody actually get the match? Everybody watch it? Anybody actually go to the South Leeds Stadium? That'd be better, wouldn't it? Live. Oh God, I'm CC on live. I didn't press the live button, so I'm behind. So anyway, we'll do it that way. So anyway, we're live. We've got people watching. I didn't press the play button. So I'm a bit behind. But anyway, let me just refresh that and get that live. There, that's it, done. Sorry, my mistake. Whoops. Technology and me don't go well. I'm on about. Anyway, so I've had a message saying, why have you got all Pittsburgh Steelers around your room? This is my Steelers room. This is what I have. If I can get a flag to replace that one, I will. I've got 2 Steeler flags up. I need a Sheffield Eagles one. So I'm going to get a Sheffield Eagles flag at some point and put some Sheffield Eagles memorabilia up, everything of that. Just to give an equal thing. I know people say, no, he's got too much Sheffield. He's good what Pittsburgh Steelers up. Well, I'm sorry about that, but this is my room and this is the way it was at the time. So, and with Sheffield Eagles not doing much merchandise, it's hard to get it. But I will get a flag customized. I will get a flag made, and it will have the current crest on it and everything like that. So we will have that. And I will put on a roll of honor underneath the flag. We will have all our honors we've had since 1984. That is getting close to the 40th year anniversary of the club. It is getting so close. Not as close as the first game of the new season. I have a development on what my role might be at that game, but that has got to keep secret for the time being until I decide to tell people. But it will come out shortly. It will be said at one point soon. So we will be having a great time with that. If you went yesterday, how was it? Last time we chatted, we were just after the defeat against Dewsbury. So we was down in the dumps with that. Liam Johnson seems to be flying. Thank you very much. Liam Johnson, as sponsored by Eagles Chat. Thank you very much for that, for Sheffield Eagles giving me that opportunity. It was a choice of 2 players, but I've said it all along exactly who the 2 players were. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Also, the fact that Sheffield Eagles this year, we've got the Heritage Project going great. We've got the girls, we've got the women's team. We've also got the wheelchair guys. At this moment, they'll be doing the training session at this moment now. And, excuse me, and so forth, and be happening. Yeah. And Michael, I will ask that question as soon as Nick comes on the show. I promise you. I will promise you, Michael. And thanks to Michael and everybody for doing some wonderful stuff on the Eagles supporters page over the last few weeks. Michael says himself he's not been a supporter of the Eagles long, but I'm sure he's making of it with the passion that goes with every single Sheffield Eagles fan and everybody that does. We may not be the biggest in numbers, but we've got more passion than some clubs and everything about it. The stadium is looking amazing. Mark Hannigan put a post up the other day that said about how much the stadium is coming along. And now just remember this Sunday should have been the first game at the stadium. This Sunday, we would have been at the OLP playing at Workington at the first game this year. Now look where the stadium is, and just think that at one point we were supposed to be playing at the stadium this week. Yeah, it's a bit of a woohoo. It just seems the fact we've got an extra 4 or 5 weeks. We've got that little bit of extra time to get that stadium going and everything. The main things about everybody's saying about, what's the benefits of a stadium now? Number one, for the first time ever in Sheffield Eagles history, that is in the entire history of Sheffield Eagles, we will now make money at food, at the concessions, at the bar, everything. All that goes to Sheffield Eagles now on match days, which is a massive, massive boost to the club. That will make such a difference. 2, it's the first time in Sheffield Eagles history, apart from Bawtry Road, I think, when we played at Bawtry Road, that Sheffield Eagles will have a stadium without something around the pitch. Whether it's been an athletics track, whether it's been a speedway track and a greyhound track, whatever it is, this is the first time ever that we can have a proper stadium, sat down, and have nothing in between the fans and the stands. It is great. Is it going to be finished? No, we're waiting for that. We've seen lots of other things that's happening with the stadium. It looks fantastic. The fact that they've got all the seats in, and it's in Eagles colours. It's in Eagles colours, which is banging. The things that we're going to be talking about, Nick, is Nick's seasons with the club. He was there at the start of the first, I think it was 88, 89, 1989, 90. And then he went to play for Hulkingston Rovers as well. So we're going to be chatting all about that and things, how proud he is of his son. And this connection between fathers and sons with Sheffield Eagles is just massive. It's just crazy, the fact that how many sons and some sons of Sheffield Eagles legends are now playing for the club, such as Mark Aston, Corey, Paul Broadbent, Blake, Anthony Farrell, Isaac, and Joel. Now we've got Nick and Nick Halafihi and Vila. It is wonderful to see that the next generation is coming along with Sheffield Eagles and so forth. It is really, really banging to see what is happening. And it's going to be great. This weekend, we're back at Cumbria. We're back up to the great old state, county of Cumbria. We've played Barrow. We've played, I think it's White. Was it Whitehaven this week? No, it's Workington. It's Workington this week. Of course it is. It's Workington. So we're back up there this week. Seems every couple of weeks we're back up there, whether it's been Barrow or Whitehaven or something like that. It's always the same. Let's hope that the weather's improved a lot, but it's not this week because apparently it's raining all week. So there could be a chance it could be a waterlogged pitch again. Let's hope not. We don't want a backlog of fixtures. We want to keep the lads fresh and not playing twice a week for like weekends on end, because that doesn't grab anything. If anybody's interested tonight, the 5th round draw will be straight after the match on Premier Sports, which is Lee versus Widnes, and the winners of that go into the next round of the draw. Who do we want? Can anybody explain? Is this the round where the Super League clubs come in? Now, is this the one where Rhinos and Saints and Cass and all them big guys? Is this the round where the big boys come in? That's the Saints and the Super League clubs like Catalan and all them guys. Is this the one when they all come in? Because I'd love to know. I think it is. I'm not sure. I don't know whether it's the 5th or the 6th round they come in. But it'd be interesting to see if they do come in and go forth and everything. Did anybody see the Doncaster result? Wow, Whitehaven mullered them. And there was a nice couple of little shocks. Workington beating Dewsbury. especially after Workington's not won a game all season, and all of a sudden, boom, they just knock it out and knock Dewsbury out of the cup, which is a great one. I saw the Batley game yesterday, Batley versus the Royal Navy. Batley was the difference in class there. You could just see it and everything. Nothing to take away from Hunslet Parkside. They were a well drilled amateur club from the NCL, and they did themselves proud. Mark was not very happy. If anybody's seen the interview on YouTube about about Mark and everything like that, he was not happy at all. So everything comes in the following round. Okay, right, gotcha. Thanks, Michael. So have they everything that comes in minus Toulouse? Okay. Cheers, Andrew. But all in all, a win's a win in my book. A win's a win. It doesn't matter how bad it is or how a win's a win. We're in the next round now. Please, can we have a away one? Can we have an away one? Please, Lord, give us a away tie. We don't want a home one just yet. We just want another away one. Away one, really nice club following. Get some nice coffers in the pockets. Get a nice one for the Eagles and stuff. If anybody saw the pictures this week of the luncheon club, the business club that was set up with Mark Hannigan and everything, lots and lots of people turning up and having a great time. If you go there, thank you very much for the wonderful support that you're showing Sheffield Eagles. Everything. I'm looking forward to the first game because as a sponsor of Liam, I get my photo took with him. I get photo. So that would be good. I'm looking forward to that. Why did I decide to sponsor a player? It's about time. I always said if Eagles Chat was in a position where we could support the club in any way, yes, we will. And this is the season I can support. Very, very fortunate that my other thing with Facebook gaming is taking off in a big way. So I can use some of that, some of the payments I receive from that into and putting it back into Sheffield Eagles. First time in 30 odd years I've wanted to sponsor a player, and I've sponsored one, and it's going to be the first of many. I hope. I really, really hope it's the first of many years of doing Liam and everything. If Liam stays, we're going to sponsor Liam every year. I think he's absolutely fantastic player. He's knocking him out of the park at the moment. His standard is going like, well, I think we found another diamond. I think we've just found another one, another one of the famous diamonds from Sheffield Eagles. And I hope we can keep him, because with Liam and Super Joel, you've got to call him Super Joel. Got to, in the second row. I think we'll be okay. We've got to wish good get well soon to Anthony Thackeray. He's hopefully he's back this week, and as is Chris Wellham and all the other big guys that's playing. That didn't. We're not the biggest of squad. We've got to say bye to Harry Tyson Wilson. He decided to leave for personal reasons. We're sorry to see that, and sorry to lose him, but it's onwards and onwards now. Thank you very much for your contribution to Sheffield Eagles over the time that you was here. But now we concentrate on the big guys and everything like that. Before we go any further, I've just got to say one thing. Now, let me see if I can find it quickly. Right, give me a sec here. Right, hold on. Where is it? Come on. Sorry about this, guys. I am yeah. Unfortunately, last week, Sheffield Eagles were starting to learn of the passing of Dave Mappin. Tonight's episode of Eagles Chat is dedicated to Dave Mappin and all the wonderful supporters that we have lost over the last few years. It's a really, really sad day for the Sheffield Eagles in general, because Dave was one of these stalwarts of supporters, supported them for all the time that he did. The funeral is soon. I'm sending my deepest condolences to Dave's family, and I'm sure everyone with concern with Eagles chat and everybody, we'll send our deepest condolences and our best wishes go to Dave's family. The memory of Dave will last forever and everything. Hey up, Mark, how you feeling, my man? And we really, really wish that on sending our deepest condolences and our best wishes go to Dave's family at this terrible, terrible time. And we wish him, and like that. Also, rugby league. I've got a great Inga the Winger. Inga the Winger passed away last week. Everybody's been asked. I got a few questions saying, do you remember him playing against the Eagles? The person to ask is Linton Stott. Linton Stott's got the best story. Yeah, good one, mate. Having 16. Do you want the link then? Hold on, let me put link in. Paste. If you want to join us, click on that link. Got a great story from Linton Stott. I said to him, what Linton had just joined, and Linton had just joined being the Eagles, and I said, "What's it like? What's it like playing against Inga the Winger?" He says, "Well, when I'm a winger, normally when I put my shoulder in and I put my arms around the plodder, I put my arms around both legs, and they tackle and they fall to the floor." And I said, "Right." And he says, "When you play against him, you put your shoulder in, hold on, wrap your arms around one leg and hold on for dear life." He played against the Eagles quite a few times. I think it was 94, 95, 96 era. Then he went back to rugby union. But, they just, it would just absolutely give me, listen, I'm just going to send the link to Mark and see if he's fine. There we go. No, sent the link, Mark. And he really was a special type of player. I think my dad even saw him play at Don Valley Stadium and he went, "Look at the size of that guy." And apparently when he hit you, he used to pick you off the floor and he was religious. And Jason Robinson said he turned his life around. So Inga the Winger, deepest condolences to everybody concerned with the gentleman's name. I can't say his name, so that's why I call him Inga the Winger, because that's what everybody used to call him. Tugi Marler, I think it was, yeah. But he was a real passionate player for Western Samoa in the World Cup in 95 and for the All Blacks in rugby union as well, and things as so forth as well. Oh, hold on, view. Gallery. That's better. How are you, sir?
Oh boy, I'm in a bad place, mate.
I can't believe you're coming on.
Well, bedtime has already started, and I'm just sat here on the sofa, which is in the kitchen. And I thought, well, I was actually just coming to watch the show for a bit, but seeing as I'm awake, I might as well talk to you for a bit.
Come on then. Yesterday. Come on.
Oh boy. If anybody from the club is watching this, I am terribly sorry, but I'm just going to tell you the truth. It wasn't great, was it? I mean, did we underestimate them? Yes. Were they excellent? Yes. Was our play good? No. Was our team selection a bit weird? I think so. I mean, no Thax. For me, you've got to have Thax out there as much as you can. It was very much a get the job done day yesterday, and whilst we got it done in the end, it was nowhere near anything like the scoreline. The scoreline was very unfair to Parkside in the end. There was a spell in the second half where Isaac was off the pitch, and we had Villa playing at halfback basically on his own, and he did his best, but you need.
We've been joined back. You say Villa, and look, we're getting his dad.
Villa was great yesterday. He did his best for that scenario. But the problem is, he was on his own in the halves. He needed some help, and it weren't there for him. But hooker, halfback. He's what you forget is it's only like his fourth game for us. He's still getting used to us, and we're still getting used to him. So good stuff.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by Sheffield Eagles ex-player, legend, whatever it is, and the best person negotiating to put posters up around Sheffield for promotion. Speaking from experience with this gentleman is Mr. Nick Halafihi. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are we doing?
You all right?
Very well, thank you. Very well.
Yeah, I remember them days. And you, me, and Warren Smiles and a Skoda going around Sheffield putting up posters.
I remember that. That came after. Used to drive a Mini with the front seat out. What do you call him? Mark Geyer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the famous bog beast. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mark, telling you straight, that day it was the promotion for the St. Helens game, wasn't it, at Hillsborough?
Hillsborough,
And
yeah.
and we had about 1,000 posters printed, and the instructions for the week was get rid of them, put them everywhere in Sheffield. And I am not kidding. Warren, me, this gentleman Nick, and a couple of the players just went round everywhere in Sheffield. We broke Sheffield down into areas for the week, and we hit everywhere. There was banners put up outside the fire station next to the rail roundabout in West Bar, saying you should come and watch Sheffield Eagles play St. Helens. It was the craziest promotion I've ever been involved with, but God, it worked because there was about 9,000 people at Hillsborough that day.
It did work. Yeah, it did. Yeah, definitely.
So I've got a first question from Michael White, which just says, how proud are you to see your son put on an Eagles jersey, and what are your hopes for him?
Oh, I think it's been a while coming. You know, I've wanted him to kind of play at the club for a while. I think it's good for him at that level in the Championship. You know, he had a couple of seasons with the Bulls in the Championship and never quite got the consistent run that he needed. So, you know, he went back down to League One, if you like, and spent his time playing every game just about with Hunslet. Got his fitness together and worked on a few things, and I think the timing was right. He's moved to Sheffield, of course, a couple of years ago, and so Mark and I have been talking about it for a while, and I think last year Mark did his due diligence and come and watched him play a little bit and spoke about him with his coaches and other players and things, and here we are. So I'm hopeful that, you know, the club will start to move forward again, really. You know, I think it's the first time as we know that they've played together as a group for a while, because Mark made a lot of changes in the team. So getting the players understanding what Mark's game plan is different to perhaps how he's played before, and he's got a bit more responsibility, but that's got to be a good thing.
Yeah. What's Mark like as a player or as a boss now? Is he still different? Is he still the same old Tubby?
Tubby's just the same, isn't he? You know, I remember playing in France. That was my debut for the club, and on a tour down there, and Tubby played then. He hasn't changed at all. I think he's always been demanding. He knows what he wants, and he wants to get that from the team and from the players, doesn't he? And
yeah,
you know, I talked to Vila this morning and last night, and Mark's just the same. He's not changed.
He said the interview today. He says he let them know exactly at halftime how he felt and everything yesterday. So he'll always be saying he'll never hide. He just tells exactly what it is.
I think it was a funny game yesterday. I think they ran out of stretchers at one point. Did the Hunslet club, and the stops were so many that we just were getting into a rhythm, I think, and then we started again and couldn't kind of get in the swing of it, really.
Yeah, I'm sorry we've just been joined by the gentleman that set this all up. Is Mr. Fowler again? Good evening, Mr. Fowler. Yeah, you need your headphones. You need your microphone on, mate.
Hey, Chris.
Give him a minute, he'll get there.
He'll get there.
Yesterday with 250 stoppages or so, yeah. So very interrupting the flow of the game. I don't think there really was a flow much, but very, very weird game. But the important thing I was just saying about Villa, did Villa end up in the halves yesterday? You know, at the start of the second half, I think he ended up in the halves pretty much on his own.
I think he had a bit of a spell there, maybe, but I think he played most of the game at 9. I mean, he's played everywhere before. He hooked the ball up a bit yesterday as well. So yeah, he'll play anywhere, but I think he's best as an act. I think we'll get the best out of him when we see a dry track as well, you know.
Yeah, the weather's not brilliant at the moment, and we've got all the different pitch every week at the minute as well, which is, you know, so it'll settle, and then I think we'll catch fire a bit once it's all settled down.
I hope so. Yeah.
Who's got telly on?
Chris has got the telly on, of course he has.
Emmerdale.
Emmerdale?
Wow.
We've got a professional show. All I can hear is Emmerdale. All I can hear is that.
Can you hear it?
On the remote, that'll sort it.
Can you hear it?
We'll be hearing Amos really coming through in a minute with this lot.
Name Mr. Wilkes.
How you been, Chris? All right. Thank you very much for this.
That's all right. Don't worry.
Conversation at Barrow. Have you two dried out from Barrow now? Have you? Since you went?
Oh lordy, yeah, just about.
All three of you went, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, it was horrific. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They've had off the ground knocked down after with the wind, haven't they? They've had some pretty bad damage.
All the marquee blew down, didn't it? the big
I
marquee.
felt that day we were unlucky. I thought we'd come away with something, to be honest, and we just again didn't quite get the rub of the green in the final third. But I thought we played some reasonable stuff.
I
think middle bit.
And I think their tries as well. I don't think they broke us down so much. They were mainly from our mistakes.
That's exactly right, Chris. I don't think they broke our line maybe once or twice the whole game, but everything they picked up was from our errors, which you do get the errors. But there was no in that, game, in it, But yeah,
one of them
that's
things. It's
one of them things, Some days they fall for you, some days they don't.
Like Nick was saying, hopefully we'll get his best side out and we'll get a dry track. So
I think so. I think you'll get Thackeray back and fit and get him on a dry track and a few forwards running off him kind of thing, and we get to a game plan we stick to. Then I
think your big lads, your Liam Johnsons and your Brandon Douglases will settle better as well in when it's a bit better.
Yeah,
Liam's had a flying start.
He's done well on his.
Yeah, if you care to remember that far, it reminds me a lot of Pete Green from Doncaster when we first signed in.
Yeah, Peter Green. Yeah,
second row gets through the absurd amount of work. It very much reminds me of that mould. And I think you're absolutely right. It was Thax injured yesterday or just rested?
Injured.
Or
injured,
right?
Yeah,
injured.
There must have been a good reason he wasn't out there anyway. So
Can I just say, since it's been announced that Eagles Chat sponsor Liam, it's
that's obviously it. Yeah,
it's in the form of his life, isn't he?
Isn't he? Yeah. Because he knows I'm having his jersey.
There'll be a queue for that, I think.
Bloody won't be. I'm having it. I've got that blue one he's wearing. He better not rip it. No chance.
These shirts that they've said on the Facebook group this week, the third shirts from last season going for sale.
Yeah.
10 minutes after it went online, I saw the thing saying, send us an email with what shirt you want. Yeah, Dino knows what's coming. So I straight on the email, because I was at my work desk, and I said, Super Joel or Thax. And then I put like Aaron James and so on. And then Mark messaged me back saying, I'll save your Aaron's. I'm like, and then I looked, someone here had already nicked the two. Had already nicked the other two ones. Had already got Thax and Super Joel. So
I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing. I'm a collector. What can I say? I'm a collector.
Some people would call you a hoarder.
There's maybe that as well, but
Rather
I'm a collector. Yeah, I'm a collector. I love all the jerseys. I always will. Speaking of which, Nick, you was involved with the Eagles first year in the first division in '89. You was the famous day when we beat Widnes, weren't you?
I played off the bench that day. Yeah. Gary said to me, just go on. And he said, I'm going to put you in the front row. I'd never played front row before then. I was probably 18 at the time. So I packed down, I think Cookie was in the middle and Beans, and I packed down next to them. And opposite us was Joe Grimmer.
Phil McKenzie.
I think it was a senior for Milo, and of course the big Tongan lad as well, who was
Kurt Sorensen.
Kurt Sorensen still there.
Kurt Sorensen played that bit too. Yeah.
Not a bad baptism that then, was it?
No, not at all. But
I
played
remember
well that day. Got a good result that day.
Yeah. I remember the interview with Sorensen afterwards because he looked so downhearted because they just won the World Championship. They just beaten Canberra 4 or 5 days before. And everybody thought, it's just a walkover this with the Eagles. Bramwell Lane, Scrum Down was there as well. I remember that. Yeah. It was a set up and we just destroyed them that day. I think Dave Nelson had the game of his life against.
He really did. He turned Martin Five inside out, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think I was saying, Nick, as well. I was just going to say he were a class act, weren't he, Jeff Hardy?
Jeff was truly great. Yeah, he was.
He
was what I think every club needs, which is that bit of difference, a bit of creativity.
Yeah.
He would kick the ball over and collect.
I know he played 6 rather than 7, but reminds me, got us around the field like Brendan Lindsay used to.
Fabulous. I think I've been on Question of Sport twice for what happens next. And one of those was Jeff Hardy when he was at the sideline, took his shirt off to change his shirt. Yeah. And the ball came to him and he picked the ball up with no shirt on. He had his sleeves in, but didn't have a chance to put it over. Picked the ball up and ran it in. So I'd taken the drive up before that, after that. So
right, I see.
Yeah. The other one was at Saints.
Was the other one at Saints with a head in the ball?
Yeah.
The header.
Oh,
The
yeah.
famous heading the ball.
Gary put us all through the mill for that. Yeah, I think it was me, Sonny, and Cookie, who just kind of watched it go over, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah. Then they outlawed it the day after.
Yeah.
They did.
Mark, have you know what we're on about with this? Have you seen
Yeah,
this?
I know. I have seen some of those. I know that clip of Jeff Hardy with the shirt. I have seen that. I know. And I've obviously watched the Widnes game. I think it's on YouTube, or it used to be. Yeah. So I've seen the Widnes game a few times. I'm not going to lie, it's a very different game then than it is now. But
5 meters back, 5 meters. Back.
The whole game's changed.
Was Jonathan Davies playing for Widnes that day as well?
Yes, he was. Yeah, I think it was his first game at standoff, because they build it up because it was his first game at standoff, and Jeff Hardy just destroyed him.
He did.
The St. Helens game when they headed the ball. I don't know how true this is, Nick, whether you've heard or not, but apparently before the game they asked the referee if it was legal.
That's true. Yeah, and the referee said it's unsportsmanlike, but he said it's within the rules of the game at the moment. Yeah, and I think what had happened is they tried it the week before and it didn't quite come off, and the RFL kind of warned them about heading the ball, and then when they asked the referee, when they did it again, they outlawed it straight after.
It didn't come off the week before because probably 3 people that were stood in front of him actually went to catch it.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I've never seen anything like it, and you can actually see Sonny, myself, and Cookie. I think me and Cookie were at marker.
Yeah,
Sonny was at first a defender, and we just kind of thought, what's he done there?
Well, because I were there, and I'm thinking, he didn't just head that, surely.
I think I just
and somebody's like, yeah, he did, and I'm like, well, that can't be it. And then when he gave it, we were like, oh, he's given that.
Yeah. Tubby just passed the long ball to Darrell, and Darrell had hit me wider, and I went straight through. Gary Conley covered across and caught me, and then
Eagles
later.
Oh no. I've just got told off for swearing by my good lady.
His knuckles wrapped already. What? 10 minutes in, Chris.
How did you get recruited? Sorry, Nick. How did you get recruited then for the Eagles by Gary? What happened with that one? Was he a good smooth talker and negotiator then?
I was playing for Carnegie at the time. I'd played at Hull. It was Colts in them days, so that would be under 19s, and I'd played for Hull and then went to uni. I was playing at Carnegie, and we had a really good side in those days. Mickey Keebles played, Chris Stone. I played for Great Britain at the time as a student. Beat the French in the first ever Test match at home that we'd beat them in. And it was a former Lance Todd Trophy winner who happened to watch the game in a final when I had a decent game, and he had a chat with Gary, and I went along to Pontefract one miserable evening with the boys, and that was it really. Yeah.
Is it true the famous pre-season training is you're doing laps around Pontefract Racecourse?
Racecourse, yeah. I used to always try and partner with Kello at the time.
Big finish, uphill.
Yeah.
Uphill finish.
It was one of those where, Dave Nelson would run it for fun and Kello at the back, bless him, picking all the stragglers up. But there were tough days those days, and you trained in the dark basically as well. It was tough. And the funny thing was, if you needed physio genuine treatment, you had to run for it. So you had to come out of Ponty Park and run all the way down the road into Pontefract where the physio was, have your treatment, and then run back. So, if you had a bad knee or something, you'd rather stay where you were.
Because I don't know if Dean told you, I missed beginning, but 2 weeks ago we had Paul McDermott on.
Oh, yeah. Super.
And Paul were very good. Paul, we were about an hour and a half he were on, actually.
2 hours. It went 2 hours, that one.
2 hours, Dean.
That's the longest one we've ever had.
But Paul were great. Paul were great. But,
no, I still...
He ran about the
Paul.
training.
Yeah. He passed me the ball, Bramley at home. It must have been, what would that have been, 87, 88 or something like that. And that was my first touch the ball and first try for the Eagles, that. But
really?
Yeah, Macca, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so I was how is Howard Cartwright as a trainer?
Yeah, he was always good for me. Yeah, always good for me. It was tough, he'd tell you how it was, and that's how we spoke. But he always got the best out of you, Yeah, he was definitely a top bloke, and I think he came back and did a bit of work for Tubby not that long ago, a few years, didn't he?
I don't know.
It was just after the reformation. He was like the head coach under Tubby or whatever. When Tubby was still playing a little bit, Howard was like the sort of default head coach. But then as we sort of moved on and grew, Howard was like, well, I'm only doing this as a favour or whatever. Yeah. So then he sort of stood back. But yeah, he was coaching for about 3-4 years after we started again, turn of the century.
And he coached the A team, and I played a bit in that. But those were the days when he didn't play in a league, structured league. It was if you got a game kind of thing. I think we played at Attercliff Athletics Ground.
Woodburn Road.
Woodburn Road.
Woodburn Road, yeah. Used to change in a portal cabin at the top.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a really good record at home as well. The Eagles A team had a pretty good record through and through, to be honest.
Yeah.
I remember when they played. I remember when the A team played a certain London Crusaders, and it involved a British heavyweight boxing champion, Gary Mason.
Yeah.
And he's like, and when he got the ball, he's like, "Go, Bennett, look at the size of him."
Yeah.
we turned up to watch the A team one night, and we'd got a mystery player playing. We later found out. Well, we realised on the night we're Adrian Shelford.
Oh, yeah. Funny, I went to Crusaders. Must have been not long after that game, Dean, and Gary Mason was there training, and we used to get. I used to come out and do some kicking practice with us, Vinnie Jones.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What were he kicking people's heads?
He used to do. He was a pretty good goal kicker, to be honest, as well. Yeah.
What
We were good mates with Tim Wilby. So, and of course, Tim joined me 2 weeks after. So I left Sheffield and went to London. 2 weeks later, Tim turned up in the gym, and he followed me down there.
Tim.
So I mean, when we look at this season with Vila and all that, what do you think his best position? We're saying like he's hooker now because since James Davey gone, he's the only specialist hooker we've got. Hooker's changed over the years, hasn't it? Is he just a third or halfback these days with hooker?
I think so, very much. I mean, I remember the days when scrums were contested, and that's when that sorted the men out from the boys, to be honest. And I tried to tell Vila when he was growing up, he used to have to push for them as well as strike. And
used to be a right bonus when you won one against the head.
Yeah, and used to get pull up for loose arm and all that kind of thing. I mean, there were proper games when he contested.
In them days, though, the ball got put in middle as well.
It did. It did.
Not under second rower's feet like now.
You've only got to look at the NRL, haven't you? And they use the 9 very much as an extra pivot. And I think that is definitely Vila's best position. But as I said, at Hunslet, he's played in the back row. He's played in the centre for the Bulls. He's played in the back row there. His kicking game's come on, so he's played a little bit at 6 as well. But I think you get most from him there, and
he'll only get better as well. More he gets to know lads, and like you say, when tracks get drier as well.
I think when the track, that's his game. He's shooting out from 9. He did quite a bit of that yesterday, but I think we've got to try and pull the forwards across a little bit more as well, and he'll get there with that when he learns how people run and play and that type of thing.
Does he prefer 4G pitches, 3G pitches, or grass?
I think he prefers the G pitches because they're quicker for him, you see.
Yeah.
If we can get a quicker play of the ball on the back of that, then he'll be away. So that's very much his game. But I think, he's going to have to learn to play 80 minutes a bit, isn't he? And he's been doing that.
I did it
at the Bulls.
Did it at Bulls, didn't it? Did it at Dewsbury as well, did it?
Minus the 1 minute, which he got Simbin for, I think. Yeah, so 79 minutes maybe, but he did 80. He's done 88 ever since, I think. Yeah.
I think with the injuries in the squad we've got, he may be doing a few different things. Josh, who was known with a fullback, moved into 7 yesterday. He's got an injury, so Villa may even need to cover not necessarily fullback, but he may be. If we do get another specialist hooker in or whatever, he may then have to move into the halves. To help out.
And I think it worked well. Tubby's game plan against the Bulls because he obviously played Vila at 9, but it meant he could get an extra forward on the bench, and that really helped the go forward, I think, against the Bulls particularly. So I think Tubby will flex his game plan, won't he? Around
I think the fullback spot's going to be Ben Jones Bishop's going to play there. I think
That'll be
Yeah.
good. That's
Well, he played there with
sensible. Yeah.
Hoovered up everything yesterday, so
He did.
that's what you need your fullback to do.
He played there with Leeds, I think, didn't he, for a bit?
Yeah.
Fullback.
He just needs half a gap, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
But
you
he's
play?
good
Sorry, Nick. Yeah, sorry. Did you play at Don Valley Stadium, Nick?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What did you think?
Started at Allerton.
Yeah.
Played in Allerton there, and then that was a place, wasn't it? Yeah, and then
That's what Paul said. Paul McDermott said to him.
Yeah, I always remember going out.
It's still there and it hasn't changed.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I always remember going out and Gamma would be in the passageway having a fag, at half time kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where I started, and then went to Don Valley with them. I was fortunate to play in both the Hillsborough game and the Sheffield Bramall Lane game.
Oh, when we played St Helens at Hillsborough.
Oh, St Helens at Hillsborough and Widnes at Bramall Lane. Yeah. So in fact, because Gary sent me to Australia with Nelly, Dave Nelson, to play in Warren Smiles' old club,
Applecross, yeah.
So I went over there and played, and we had a really good season out there. Nelly didn't last long, I think he lasted about 3 or 4 days and took a plane back home. And so I was on my own then, and we went right through to the finals. And then Gary just rang me and said, "Look, we've got the first game next week or 10 days time. I want you back." So I came back, and that was it, really. Yeah.
How was Australia?
Fabulous. Yeah. Yeah, fabulous. My son's out there now. He's working out there and got a gym and all that kind of thing, and loves it.
Yeah, Warren says hello. I chatted to Warren yesterday, so he says hello to you and everything. I know each other.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Warren were a good lad, wasn't he? A good player.
Yeah.
He was a really good player. He was fit, wasn't he? And
he broke his leg, didn't he? I think
he broke his leg at Featherstone New Year's.
He did.
New Year. It would get with the game against Featherstone at Wakefield. I remember it, and because I was in the office a few days later and I saw him, and he says, "Look, that's it." And that's when he became the A-team coach, and he did that. And he did Superloop with Betty and did all the things like that with the club. And we signed 2 unknown Kiwis at the time called Francis Leota and Tawara Nicow, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. They come on the back of Des Mayer.
Oh,
I think Des were after them, I think.
Was he after them?
Yeah, Des Mayer.
He was some player, wasn't he?
Desi were a big lad, yeah.
If you want to know what we're on about, watch Hull Kingston Rovers versus Sheffield Eagles on YouTube, 1990-1991. There's biggest winger we ever had. That number 5 shirt was huge on him.
Was that the game when he ran over Bright Sodger?
Yeah, and that's the game when the director got sent off, kicked out of the stadium for goading all the players and all the fans from the stand, and they kicked. It's the first time they banned the director for life at Eagles. He just lost his plot.
Ball just looked like a peanut in his hand.
Yeah,
his hands were that big.
Same with Cassini. Do you remember him playing?
Oh God. Paulo Cassini. Wow. I mean,
he scored winning try in the infamous streaker game at Alderton against Oldham when the lady ran on with her breasts out. I think Cassini scored the winning try that day.
Very good. Yeah.
Mark, that was funny. That was funny. Just watching this woman run on the pitch and she ran straight in front of the Oldham trainer, and it's the vision I'll always have. And he's like, and she's going, "Aya," and he's going, his head's up there. Didn't want to watch anything. It was brilliant. And guess what? Her name was Dawn. And no wonder the lie. Everybody thought it was Mark Aston's missus at one point, and went, no, it weren't. But she was called Dawn, weren't she?
I don't know, but I remember that's one of the few times we've actually got on front page at Star for Sheffield Eagles rather than inside page.
Yeah.
I think I remember the other one was when we got told that Alderton Stadium was no use and we had to play away as every game was away from home.
Oh,
that season after we went up, the season into the First Division. What was that like? What was that like, Nick? Just when somebody said Alderton Stadium wasn't fit for use and we've got to play away every game.
I think you always want to play at home, don't you? And no matter where you are, you make that your home. And the thing I remember about playing in those days was the players were always, and the fans had a real intimacy about them. They stand and talk on the side of the speedway and after games, and we used to go. Is it the Panorama Room? We used to go.
Yeah.
You'd mingle with the supporters, and everybody seemed a big family kind of thing. So I think once you take that away from playing at home, it's not the same. It's always more difficult away, isn't it?
Yeah. what you said about Woodburn Road, Nick, that was when Don Valley got knocked down. They were on about developing Woodburn Road and making that our home ground.
I heard
'cause
that. Yeah.
the stand were already there, but
Yeah.
I think they said it were going to cost too much to do it. So, in the wisdom, they thought it'd be cheaper to knock Don Valley down. And
So is the Cocktat still there then?
no,
It's
Is it?
not.
Gone?
It's not a pub anymore. No, it's an office building now. The
Is
building
it?
itself is still there, but it's an office now. It's been shut for a good.
yeah.
Oh, it's a good 6-7 years. It's been gone, to be honest.
Yeah.
Really?
Long time.
They
like
used
we
to be the biggest fans of the Eagles ever. Every year they used to sponsor Anthony Farrell. Every year every time players used to go in there, always meant welcome. And the amount of times
Anthony Robshaw, very little guy.
and his dad as well.
His dad, yeah.
That's
God
right.
bless them both.
Little Anthony, yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then we used to go into town to R&B's, I think, then.
Oh,
R&B's Uptown Bar. But the lady that ran that were called Ruth Roper Tie.
yeah,
on
Ruth
Scotland
and Barry,
Street.
yeah.
Yeah, we're on
Right.
Scotland Street.
Yeah.
Scotland Street.
R&B's
that's-
Uptown
yes.
Bar.
That's
Yeah.
where that Hilton Hotel now is. I think it's all been developed around here.
Has it?
Yeah. It's all been developed. There's giant apartment blocks and hotels, and I think coffee shops were there. I think it's moved, but
Wow.
yeah, it's that part of town's all been developed.
I think Ruth used to scare so many people, so many players when she come around for photographs, weren't it, Chris? And they were like that. They used to go, "Oh my God, she's here again." And
Yeah,
Did
well,
a thing for Derek Bridgman.
Did she?
Yes, she did. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
We were talking about Derek with Paul McDermott.
Ah,
he just-
super.
Says he just used to tuck ball under his arm and just fend people with his
Yeah,
good
you couldn't
arm.
get it. You couldn't get it away. Well, I used to set off, and sometimes Andy Dickinson would pick me up, and then we'd call down and slip for Mick Cook, and then we'd come back round and meet Gamma with the Bog Beast on the steps at the town hall.
With who?
Mark
Bog-
Gamson, Gamma.
Yeah.
Bog
Yeah.
Beast.
So we'd
Who's
sit on
the
the
Bog-
town hall steps.
Who's the Bog Beast? What's the
Ford
Bog Beast.
Escort.
It-
Ford
it-
Escort.
It was a
Oh, I
big.
see.
It was a Ford Transit van. Yeah. And so if you didn't get there early, if you got there early, you'd get one of the 3 front seats. Gamma would always
didn't.
drive. He never messed about with Cookie, so he was always sat next to him. Then it was a scramble to get the last seat. And if you didn't get it, you'd be in the back. And in the back, there was no seats. It was just a van.
And trust me, I know from experience, sitting on the wheel arch of a Ford Transit van is not very good.
And one of the funniest
done that.
things, the things I'll always remember is on the way back, Gamma used to try and time the lights. This is the main drag up to in Leeds by the town hall. He used to time it to get them to red, because if they were red, he didn't have to go out of his way. He could turn the corner and drive home to Bristol. And this particular day, we'd say, Gamma, is it there? Yeah, we're on red. So the back of the transit doors would fly open. Sonny, Cookie, Nelly jumping out the back, and the fella in the little Ford Escort behind didn't know what was happening. He put it in reverse and tried to get away. You can imagine, can't you? You know.
I've only thought it would land at Giant.
Oh,
What's happening?
Yeah.
With travel.
Yeah.
Oh,
they were
good.
the days.
Brilliant.
I think most when we talk about the Eagles players of yesteryear and things like that, Sonny Nickel always comes up as like the one that always got away. We lost one hell of a player then to Saints, but his time at the Eagles, it may have only been a couple of seasons, but boy, what a couple of seasons he had at our side. He never took a back step, did Sonny.
No.
Always went forward. Never took a step against anyone. He
I
just
saw him
ran
recently,
forward.
you know, and he still looks like he could do a really good job at any Super League club, you know. He really does.
Oh.
Fabulous lad, fabulous.
He'll be doing Masters Rugby League then soon.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do. We need to do that.
I think he's very shy, you know, and tries to stay away from the game now. He'll go to the odd memorable dinner kind of thing and that, but I think it's difficult. I think he just likes to get on with his own thing, Sonny, you know.
So from Eagles then, Nick, where you say you went to London after that?
Well, when Sonny came, I lasted another couple of weeks, but he kind of took my spot really, did Sonny. So I went the other way and I went on loan to Hunslet for 6 weeks.
Right.
And that went well for me. Played at Ellen Road, like. And then after that, I signed for London and played some good rugby down there. In those days, that would be in the old second division. In those days, the RFL were trying all sorts of things. So you played everybody 3 times. And it was a real competitive league. So I think I still hold a record there for playing every game in a season and more. So something like
Did
60
London play?
games on the
Did
top.
London play at Crystal Palace then?
That's where we played then. Yeah, Crystal Palace. And then we moved back up home, and I signed for Hull KR and probably played my best rugby there really towards the end. And
how long were you there at OKR?
I did about 4 or 5 years there, and my last season would have been 95, which was the season before Super League launched, or I think it was 94 or 95. It was the season before. So yeah.
Were you at OKR when Roger Millward finished?
No.
He was before me. Yeah.
Before?
Yeah.
That was 91. I think it was when his last game was his last game for OKR at Don Valley.
It were, yeah. We battered him. So.
But I went back eventually, and I was the chief exec at Rovers for quite a while. And Roger used to come in and do a few bits and pieces. We renamed the main stand after him at one stage, and super guy. We applied to the RFL to get the Challenge Cup back into Hull Town Hall to celebrate on a date, 20 years after the anniversary of Rovers OKR winning. And the people that turned out just to see him with the trophy was unbelievable, So that's a family game for you, isn't it?
Yeah, but proper
Millward and all in it. So
proper rugby town, all over it.
Yeah.
With KR and LFC as well, proper rugby town.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Always remember my trips to Hull.
A divided one, but
well, I played in the last derby game in the first division before it went to Super League, and to play in a Hull Rovers derby is pretty. You need to make sure you put your gum shield in that day. Yeah.
Did you ever get the dubious pleasure of playing at the Boulevard?
I did. That was the last game that I played at the Boulevard. Yeah.
That was some place, weren't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my dad played there, you see, so it was like going home for me because I spent a lot of time in my youth watching Hull. My dad played at Hull. So he played in the 1960 Wembley final for Hull against Wakefield, which was the biggest ever winning loss margin for quite a few years. That was the really gun Wakefield side at the time. In fact, Paul McDermott would have known all about that because he's a Wakefield lad, isn't he?
Paul said the other week that he got picked to play for Wakefield in the Challenge Cup final, and 2 weeks before broke his arm.
Oh,
yeah, the famous Nest 79 final, wasn't it? That would have been in.
Yeah. And he says he broke his arm, so he didn't get to play.
Because Macca's younger brother played for Eagles,
Chris, played fullback.
Sizzler, yeah.
Sizzler.
Yeah.
Why Sizzler?
Do you remember the old programs? You used to go away to matches and there'd be a program that you got, and it would always sometimes it would have like a
pictures.
This is a rundown on Hugh. I'm having a senior moment again. Hugh Waddell.
Yeah, Hugh Waddell. Yeah.
So we were away at Barrow at the time, and there'd be a picture of Hugh and a bit of a write up about his favourite movie. It was always something with Jennifer Aniston in those days or something like that. And it would say occupation. Well, Hugh was a flour grader, sifting flour kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
And lads used to have a bit of fun making up jobs for the programs that we went away to. So if you've got any of those, you want to have a look at those. I think Phil Cartwright was a bacon slicer. So his nickname became Slicer.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. And the different lads used to make different.
So Chris,
it's the Premiership final one, isn't it? That's the funniest one because you look at the occupations because the second division Premiership final against Swinton, and they do the occupations there. I'll have to check that. I think I've still got that.
I always remember Hugh was a flour grader, and because I know Phil was a bacon slicer because that became his nickname, Slicer. Yeah. There were a few different ones. Yeah.
Madness.
Dear.
Very good.
I remember Mark Essen coming in one day and he said he got a job at Argos and he lasted about 2-3 months. And he just says, no, I'm coming back to schools coaching at the Eagles. And he just says, no, I've got a job at Argos. It's well paid. Did 2-3 months and went, no, I'm coming back. I'm doing coaching at Eagles. I'm not doing Argos again. So that was one of his occupations. Remember
Well, there's
that?
a lot gone on to big things, hasn't there? I've had an involvement. Look at Ralph, school development officer, and he's now in charge of the RFL.
Yeah, and what a
Jason
cracking
at the
job that is doing.
Rhinos doing the conditioning
Jason's
work.
Jason's been there years, done really well.
Yeah.
Huddersfield,
Yeah.
weren't he? And
I think Gary's always done a good job of kind of looking after the older players that he's had a bit of time with. And
I think there's been like Paul Broadbent, he's been involved with Italy Rugby League team, and then you've got Mick Cook. Cookie did well at the Rhinos, and then he went to York and other things. So there's always been somebody involved with in some ways, and the teams that everybody from the yesteryears have always gone on to bigger and better things, as you said. Yeah. I mean, and so I think, but chief executive, I mean, what was that like then, a chief executive club then?
It was tough with OKR because when I went, they were in debt and in a CVA, and they were playing well on the park, but off the park they needed to get out of the CVA to write a Super League application at the time. So I wrote the application, but we needed to get him out of the CVA. So the board one day said to me, look, we've found somebody who's been a lifelong supporter of the club, and we think you should go and meet him and see what his terms are to take the club over. If he buys the club, we'll be out of CVA, and then we can put this Super League application in, Nick, and away we go. So I went to meet Neil Hudgell for the first time.
Neil Hudgell is now chairman, I think.
He's now chairman and put the money in. Yeah. And
that was that long ago, was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
As long ago as that, and he's
well,
still
it would have been 90. Wait a minute. No, it wouldn't. It would have been 2002 maybe, or something like. No, 2004, something like that.
So still 17, 18 years.
Yeah. And he was just waiting. I mean, he's a good, well-renowned solicitor in the town, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
You know, he'd saved his money up as a childhood boy. Saved his money up with the ambition to own the club. And, you know, a lot of people in the town knew that. The board knew that. But, of course, if you're a board looking after a club with ambitions to be in Super League, you want to stay a board member, don't you?
Yeah.
But Neil didn't quite see it that way. He was prepared to commit the monies, keep the survival of the club going, fair play to him. But he wanted to make certain adjustments at board level, you know. So I kind of brokered the deal and managed to get that right. And then I stepped down as well and moved on to other things. So,
yeah. With the birth of Super League and being in Hull, you must have been there when they had that crazy idea to start merging. And they said, we're going to merge Wakefield, Castleford and Featherstone. And then the best one of the lot, Hull and Hull KR, and form Humberside. I
remember driving down the road with protesters. You used to drive off Preston Road and into Craven Park at Hull KR. And there'd be protesters there when we were training with placards and banners. They sprayed on the road, no merger. I think that was there for years afterwards and caused a big hoo-ha about it. And they tried it with the academy, I think. They had one Hull academy at one stage.
Yeah.
But no, wasn't going to be a goal, was it, for a city like Hull?
Not a chance.
Not with the history of the two clubs.
Well, same with Featherstone,
Wakefield and Cass. Yeah.
There was some crazy. I think Warrington and Widnes was down to merge as well at one point.
Yeah,
and I just couldn't believe. And well, they had Sheffield Eagles and Doncaster, and Gary, who came on a few weeks ago, he talked about that, the famous meeting when he got told that only about 2 people said yes to the merger, and the rest of the whole entire place said no. But
to be fair, though, I think if they were ever going to be one, it probably would have been Sheffield and Donny.
Yeah, but then we merged with Huddersfield.
Tough place to go to, Donny, in the day. Was it
Tattersfield?
Tattersfield.
It was a real humdinger. I used to always score there, but what a tough environment to go to there.
Best bar for supporters by miles was in Tattersfield, because it was just behind the main stand. So every time when Eagles played there in that season, finished, just walk across the path and then straight into the bar. And like Bruce McGuire was one of his last games before he went home, and he was
the Boxing Day
played in all year.
That Boxing Day game in, I think it was late 80s, was it? When there were 5 sendings off. Paddy Burgoyne. I think Paddy Burgoyne got sent off, one of our Aussie props. I think there were 3 of ours and 2 of theirs, I think. That made front page at Star as well. Boxing Day game, 5 sendings off.
Always. I mean, Eagles made top page of the BBC Sport page yesterday on Rugby League, saying Eagles survived scare.
Yeah, I know, I saw that. I don't think there was ever a scare on, like, for me, but, you know.
On BBC, front page at BBC Sport. at least they managed to get the emblem right as well. They
Yeah.
used the old one,
Yeah.
they used the new one. So
Then somebody must have kicked the backside up for once and actually put it right. But
yeah.
ah,
So Nick, you did a bit at St Helens, didn't you, as well, for a while, coaching?
Yeah, I went to David Howes got me to go to St Helens when Sean McRae just started, and I was the academy coach and used to do the school development work. And then eventually I joined Mike Gregory. If you remember Mike, what's a player he was the alliance coach, and I joined Mike as the alliance coach, and we used to help out on a match day with the first team. And so the way Bomber worked, Sean McRae's, you'd all have a role on a match day and in first team training and things. And Mike used to be the assistant coach and do all the cutting of the video, and I used to do the control the bench with the headset and sort the subs out and that kind of thing. Yeah, trying to tell Adam Fogarty to come off the field because Sean McRae wanted him off now, and I've Adam Fogarty say to you, "F off, Nick, I'm staying on."
Yeah.
That was a test. Yeah, that was a real test.
I can imagine.
But yeah, I mean, the academy I had in those days was brilliant, and I've got about 3 chapters into writing a book and never really finished it. But I got a book deal to do it. But from a kind of alternative angle, because lots of stories that people might not know. And when I was you could tell
us a couple if you want.
I'll tell you one. When I was at the academy, we had no halfback at Saints. We were desperate for halfback. And we tried to sign Kevin Sinfield, he'd gone to Leeds. We tried to sign Luke Robinson, he'd signed for Wigan. And Widnes, Wigan, Warrington used to pinch, and Saints used to try and pinch each other's players, So we had no halfback. There was no halfback. We used to have, very organised. You knew players in the districts and their age groups and what positions they were. And you would look when there was a gap, and we had no fill of a halfback. So one day at Liverpool St Helens, that's the rugby union club, I was watching a young lad kicking goals. We were training as an academy.
Yeah.
And I had a really good halfback called Scott. What was his second name? It'll come to me. Yeah. Scott Barrow. He was a quality halfback. He played first team for Saints. But in those days, you couldn't play academy rugby until you were 16, until your 16th birthday. Right. And on his 16th birthday, you could then play Super League as well. So if you think about Chev Walker, he scored a hat-trick on his debut at 16 for Leeds. So I had some good players, but I couldn't play them until the 16th birthday. So I said to my head scout, that lad who there has never missed on the training field, has never missed a goal kick. Will you bring him over? I want to meet him. So my head scout said to me, Nick, you don't want to touch that player. No way. And my head scout had been at the club for years, knew what he was doing, had the trust of all the board. So I thought, well, if he thinks he's no good, then he's no good. So a couple of weeks later, he's there again, kicking goals. A couple of weeks after that, I said to Scott Barrow, what do you call that lad over there? Will you get him over to do some training? He said, Paul, yeah, I'll go get him. Donk, they called him. That was his nickname. So I called him over. Well, he was a breath of fresh air, looked fantastic. I said, how old are you? He said, I'm 16 next week. I said, you're playing in my academy. Went to the board to sign him. And my head scout came in and said, Nick, I told you to leave him alone. And I said, but the kid can play. He's got real talent, Harry. Why would you not want me to sign him? He said, because that's my youngest boy. And I don't want people to think that I had an influence in him signing for the Saints. It's Paul Wellens.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And Harry Wellens had been the scout for years.
Wow.
I would say 100 years, Yeah. And what had happened is Harry had signed his eldest son to Saints, and his eldest son had played in the first team, but going back a long time, maybe 15 years or so. And then they had Paul by, obviously a mistake. And Paul came along, had a twin sister, and he was best friends with Scott Barrow. So all the way through their junior rugby, they played halfbacks together.
Oh, right.
So they both played halfback for Saints in the academy. Then they both went up with Mike Gregg. I didn't have Paul long before I lost him to Mike Gregg in the Alliance. No. And then Mike didn't have him long before Sean McRae Bomber took him into the first team. And in that academy side at the time, Kieran played for me, Kieran Cunningham. He was he was that young. Yeah. Stankovic, Mike Bennett was a good player at the time. We had some gun players, won everything for a couple of years.
Stankovic were a good player, weren't
Sankovic one. His lad's just signed for Saints, youngest boy. Yeah,
I say,
yeah.
Yeah. Wellings
So-
didn't turn out too bad either.
Yeah.
They put fullback in
He
the
won-
end as well. Yeah.
He won the Man of Steel. The year he won the Man of Steel, and I was watching from afar, and he went on stage, and Eddie Emmons said to him, "How did you get started in rugby league?" And of course, he said, "Well, you might remember him, but Nick Halafihi gave me a chance," and he said, "I took it." And yeah, it meant a lot to me. Did that?
I can imagine. Yeah, very good.
I think my first memory of Wellings is that grand final when we had that shiner and he come off the pitch and they won, and he was a proper rugby lad. He was just crying his eyes out, but that shiner was just so massive.
It's a similar thing, wherever you go. These lads I'm talking about, they all lived in the shadow of the ground within a stone's throw of the club, so they were brought up with the club. Same thing happens in Hull, Cass, Wigan,
Yeah.
and that's why it's difficult for, I think, a club like Sheffield to get the same amount of youth through without that. It's always going to be a football city, and that's the challenge.
Yeah, well, that's what Mark obviously is his ultimate aim. But when we had the academy, we were doing really well, and we got like Corey coming through, Eddie Batter.
Yeah.
Eddie Batter's a Sheffield lad. Obviously, Mitch Stringer, Dale Lawton, both Barnsley boys.
Yeah.
And the lad who was just come back to us this year, the
Williams.
Kadeem Williams.
He came through the original Hawks. Then
Corey
the
Aston's
Eagles
best friend, I
Academy.
think.
Yeah, and then he went down to Coventry to sort of play a bit, and then he's ended up back here. Yeah.
But he got an injury pre-season, so he hasn't played yet. But
Right.
again, that academy side we had, I think they lost in final at Lee, and I think they lost at last kick at game, and I think that had 7 or 8, if not 9 Sheffield lads in it.
I think that's what you need, isn't it?
Yeah.
You need that next conveyor belt of youth coming through.
And also with that as well, that's how you get crowds involved, because when it's local lads, I think people feel a bit more affinity to it as well, don't they?
I mean, you have to take your hat off to Tubby, don't you, and what he's consistently been doing to keep the club going and the success that the club's had, And I'm not talking about winning trophies, but I'm talking about, being there week after week, getting good results and grinding results out, and Tubby keeps pushing it through. So I'm not in jungle. It's my dogs. One's rather large, so she scares everybody when she barks.
I think when you said, Nick, about Tubby, it's like he should be on that Walk of Fame on Sheffield, what they call it, just outside town hall when you have the flags.
Walk of Fame. You just get a little circular medal thing around. Yeah. He should be in it. If he isn't, well, he's not, but he should be.
Well, how many times has he saved Eagles? I mean, how many times have we had his backs against the wall, threatened with extinction, and he's pulled it out of the bag? He just kept going and going and going.
Several.
To be fair, that's before Mark, though, because I think you'll have been in that situation with Eagles as well, won't you, Nick?
Yeah, I remember those days. You used to play week to week. I mean, Gary, if you've had Gary on, he'll have told you some of the stories about how they just couldn't add them up. Couldn't kind of marry the finances from time to time. And I think one particular thing I remember him telling me is, because a good one for stories is Gary, and I've seen him do a few dinner speaks and that after dinner speak. I mean, he said one particular game they really didn't know how they were going to pay the bills, and they managed to fluke a win in the cup, and the next round they drew Leeds away.
That
kept them going, for a few games.
Yeah, he said that saved the season. He always talked when he came on, and we spent a bit of time talking about that and the first year and everything. And it's a miracle that the Eagles are still together. I can't believe it. In 2 years, it's 40 years of the Eagles, and
Is that right?
It's 1984, so it's 40 years.
Yeah.
Mark, if you don't put that first kit in that for that year, mate, I'm coming after you. We want that first kit as a home kit for the year, or the summer bash kit.
Well, I've pitched it to Claffey, but of course he's not at the club now. So
they had a good.
I think they'll do something like that, because retro kits is absolutely the way, and a lot of clubs are going retro badges now as well. There's a lot of clubs who've binned off the Super League era badges and gone back to the originals, like Wigan, Salford, and that.
Yeah.
And I think heritage, designs more than ever are definitely appealing to people, and we've got to do something for the 40th. So why not bring back this? For me, it's that white Rochdale kit, with the blue. Is it blue and purple at the top? For me, that's got to
Purple
be
and
either the
purple and
away or the
yellow, I
home
think.
kit.
Was it?
That's the-
Purple
Yeah.
and yellow.
The first away kit was all white, wasn't it? With whitbreads on it.
Yeah,
Hold
it was,
on.
yeah.
Hold on, I've got that one. Hold on.
Have you?
Oh, here we
Got a
go.
bit of black on. Yeah.
He probably knows exactly where it is as well.
It will be. They're all numbered, I think. He's like the Imelda Marcos of
Is that
Sheffield
right?
Eagles, Dean. Instead of trainers, it's Eagles shirts.
Well, we got a fair few trainers as well.
Well,
He's got more shirts than I could fit in my house. Yeah, but definitely for me, I think, because was it 20? Well, after 10 years and 20 years of the Challenge Cup win, 2008, 2018, the away kit that year was a sort of a redesign of the Wembley kit, with the blue, with the white sleeves
It
and
was,
the
yeah.
logo in
Yeah, it were, yeah.
it, yeah. And it was
Yeah.
super popular. My lad's first shirt was that one from 2018. It's framed and on his bedroom wall. Here we go, Dino.
Yeah. 11 quid on eBay. I'm not joking. Somebody actually put that on eBay for 11. I bought it for 11 quid on eBay. And somebody said, and honestly advertised it as a bad Great Britain copy jersey. They didn't even know it was a Sheffield Eagles players away jersey.
So
Always got the old trophy on it.
whose would that have been then? Number 3,
Andy Dickinson.
Andy
Yeah, Andy
Dickinson.
Dickinson.
Aye,
Yeah.
Andy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Dell was always number 4, weren't he? That was the year that he scored about 28, 30 tries, weren't it? So,
Right, Andy. Yeah.
but yeah, I heard that comment, Imelda Marcos. Thank you very much.
You were meant to. You were meant to.
Mate, my first collection of the jerseys are still with the club. So this is collection Mark II. This is the first collections with the Eagles.
God, just think what you're going to do if you get the others back.
I will never get the others back because the promise is that I've got to open the club's supporters club bar, and all the jerseys will be put up on the way. I've only been waiting now 22 years for this, but it's gonna happen because I donated all the shirts to the club because I left Sheffield in 2000, so I couldn't take them with me.
Nick, that's another thing we were talking about to Paul the other week. The fact that for the first time ever, when the new ground is opened, we're actually going to be getting some money through the bar and through food.
Fabulous, yeah.
Because it's a massive lifeline as well, and it's never happened that. So
that'll make a big difference to the club.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Will you be at the first game, Nick?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I've never missed Vila play throughout, since he was 6 years old, unless I happen to have been away on holiday on a cruise or something like that. So yeah, I'll be up at Workington next week. And are you good up to Workington, Chris, or down to Workington for you?
I don't know. I mean, because it's me week away the following week at Cheltenham, so it's for the horse racing. So I'm a bit tight, I think, for that.
Workington, ex-Eagles player Chris Thorman's the coach, isn't he?
Yes,
he's doing head on, and then their tails will be up because they beat Dewsbury yesterday.
They did, yeah.
So it's going to be a hard game for us. I mean,
we could get them, Whitehaven and Barrow. We're all in the hat for the next round. There's no easy. We're going to get somebody hard, no matter who we get, because all the formed teams won. I think Lee are playing Widnes now, aren't they? I don't know the score because I'm using my phone for this. But the draw is straight after that game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
so
tonight.
We'll know was fate pretty soon. The only sort of outlying game that could be a thing is North Wales are still in it, and that could be an away game.
Yeah, they beat Hunslet, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Colwyn Bay.
He's a decent coach. Vila played there last year, and we beat them. I think reasonably comfortably, but it's a tough place to go to. He's a good coach. That lad who's got the job there.
Is it Anthony Murray? Is it?
I think it is.
Well, yeah.
He's
been there a few years, hasn't he?
He's got some good players there.
I think because of where they are as well, rather than the West Wales lads, West Wales team, the North Wales side, they could probably get a few Cheshire, Warrington.
Well, it's what, a couple of hours by road from Warrington, isn't it? So, or St Helens.
Yeah, I think it's less than that.
So they've got a good catchment area to get a few reserves or younger lads in from there.
Yeah.
Well, this is the argument. I'll just sort of diversify a little bit. But yesterday, Nick, I don't know if you were talking to any of the Parkside lot. We were just saying that Parkside are probably a mid-table League Two side, and the RFL have got this obsession with putting teams in strange places, thinking it's going to catch, and never has. I refer to like West Wales. We've had Bristol, Oxford, and it's not worked. And now they're throwing Cornwall in, and that's just a stupid idea.
It was Kent Invicta in my day. Yeah,
Kent Invicta. Where was that? South.
They changed to Southend, but they started as Kent. Yeah.
In fact, I think Gary even played a game or two for them.
Yeah.
Before he formed Eagles. Yeah.
No,
but like you said, Mark, I think that's a good shout. Somebody like that, a team from that area that are in the heartland.
Yeah, because they're going to have a better
surely
chance.
got to be worth a try.
I was talking to some of their guys, not the players, but like, staff or whatever. They train twice a week, play Saturdays or Sundays or whatever. They are not far off being a League Two semi-pro outfit. Obviously, they'd need a proper stadium. They play at Hunslet or whatever. But for me, there's more value in having a team like that in League Two than there is West Wales, who everybody goes and sticks 50, 60 on every week and no one learns anything. Yeah. We need to look at, for me, League Two is just getting silly because the top of it's fine, but the teams at the bottom, it's embarrassing. I mean, Scholars were formed, was it in the mid-90s? And they joined the pro leagues in 2003. And I think they've made the playoffs maybe once or twice in that 20 years. And look at where they are now. When London went part-time, Broncos went part-time, they looted all their players. So they've literally got no one left. And Parkside turned them over very handsomely in the last round. So
and
we've got to look at this and think, is there a better way of having a better quality of structure than just sticking a team somewhere and hoping it sticks?
It's like Midlands, like the Midlands Crusaders now. They've took Coventry, but I thought Coventry were doing all right with a decent little project. But
it was,
that's one of those. That's one of those name rebrands for recognition, isn't it? They've gone Midlands because that covers Birmingham.
I suppose it's a bigger catchment area for spectators. Yeah,
they've always wanted Birmingham in rugby league.
Still playing at Coventry, aren't they? So it's just a branding thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are they still playing? Are they still playing at Butts Park?
I believe so. Yeah.
All right. I see. I didn't know that.
That's a decent pitch, good stadium.
Yeah, they reckon so. Yeah, they reckon it's quite tidy.
Yeah. So Nick, on the first match of the year, I will find you and I will buy you a pint, my son, my fella. Thank you very, very much for this. Being
That's
blown
fine.
Away
it's a pleasure. I've really enjoyed it. You don't have to do that, honestly. I've really enjoyed it, and
nice to catch up.
I enjoyed the catch up with Chris.
Nick, can I just ask, what are the shirts on the wall behind you? The one on the right looks a bit like a Broncos top.
That's all Kingston Rovers.
The one this is all Kingston Rovers this side.
Yeah.
This one is Tongan shirt from the 2000 World Cup. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Excellent.
I managed Tonga that year, you see. So
really?
Wow. Yeah.
See?
I bet that were a good experience, wasn't it?
It was a fabulous experience. They had a really good team that year, but just couldn't pull it together. And they've only gone from strength to strength, haven't they? Because the better players have gone back to play for their home nation now. So I think they'll surprise in this World Cup this year.
Yeah. I've got to ask this question. Was Tonga robbed against England in the semi-final?
Oh, you didn't knock that on, did he? Yeah, that was a try all day long. Yeah.
Obviously.
Will you get to any World Cup games, Nick?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I mean, I've told Ralph I'm happy to do a bit of wine and dining with them if he needs to, but he hasn't come back to me just yet. Well, he said he'd think about it.
Yeah.
Can England topple the Aussies and win it?
Well, for me, that goes to your question, Mark, about putting stupid places on the map with a rugby league club. Because for me, we should be strengthening Super League with good, strong British talent to allow us to compete on an international stage. And if we get that middle second tier right with some of the better players in Super League as well, then I think that will only act as a stronger feeding kind of club. I still think we rely too heavily on overseas players, and I don't think we're yet competing, if I'm honest.
No, because I'm assuming I think it will be, but their version of what's the cup in Australia that
the State of Origin.
No, it's like a lower league one, isn't it? But it's
Queensland Cup.
I'm assuming that's really strong, is it?
Oh,
it's very strong.
I mean, Vila, when Vila left Leeds, he went to play. He had about 18 months with the Penrith Panthers,
right?
And he was in their under-20s team, and they said to him, "We're going to drop you down to play reserve grade this week," and he wasn't very happy with that, of course. But he said to me, "Dad, that's as good, as strong a competition as the Jersey Flegg, which is their like reserve grade 19s to 20s league even." They said there were players playing in there that had played State of Origin just a few weeks previous, but still couldn't get into the first team. And that's the sort of standard I'm talking about.
That's what I'm thinking.
Standard in the Championship.
Yeah.
That can push better players in and then bring better players back. And that will result us in having a better competition, I think. You know.
Yeah, the top league's all right, but everything below it needs strengthening.
Yeah. And they're not going to strengthen that if they're going to try these. You know, they need to consolidate for me in the heartland of the game and those clubs that have established themselves over a period of time. It's like the Cumbrian leagues, you know. I mean, there's 3 good Cumbrian clubs there, aren't they? And they're always difficult to go to.
Yeah,
I think they could do with more support, get more juniors playing from them. You know,
I think that's what they struggle with, the lack of money. But I think we were saying the lad at Barra's gone all in there, and he's a local lad, I think, you know.
He is a local lad,
and he's chucking a lot of money at it.
Yeah, did I read where he's finance guy in London, and
I think so.
He supports the football club as well. You know.
Yeah, somebody was saying when we were up the other week that he'd thrown some money at them as well, which is good. It's his hometown, and why not?
Yeah. So same with Eagles, because we had that mystery backer, didn't we, with the stadium, and then all of a sudden he said he was going to finance the stadium. It was going to be a Sheffield Eagles stadium. No one else was going to be involved, and then all of a sudden council said, "No, we don't want him. We're going to go with somebody else."
He wanted to build a green power station.
Yeah.
And he wanted to take a percentage of the power that it generated.
Yeah.
And the council said, "No, we're not letting you do it." So then, because he didn't get planning permission for that, he pulled his money out from the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's when we were full time.
Yeah.
2016.
Yeah, and then we finished up. Ian Swire, the ex-chairman, actually, and Ian will say this. So I'm not talking, he bailed us out and paid the players till the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's another occasion we'd have gone under.
Yeah.
Is that the same guy, that backer, Chris? Is that the same guy who's just recently been convicted for fraud, not paying his tax?
What? Oh, were we us?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that. I've not seen that story.
Have a look on the old internet, but there's someone who was involved at the club recently who's just had his collar felt for being late with his VAT. I'll just leave that there.
Does it name him?
Well, I'm not going to get into that, but you know.
Don't name him on here. I'm not. I'm not going
to. But the reason I asked that is, if they do name him, I think I know who it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's named in the article I read, so you know.
Yeah. Okay.
All I'll say is just
fishing afterwards.
Google will be your friend here, but
yeah. Last question I've got: who's going to win NRL for you, Nick, this year?
I'm a Panthers man through and through. So,
Panthers.
Yeah. I get what, because I did some time as the performance director at the RFL, and in those days they rang up and said we want to bring over our under-18s team and play a few matches, and so they did that every year for about 3 or 4 years. So we just got to know them. And then when I managed the Great Britain Academy team, we went down under and they picked us up from the airport and took us back to the club there, and there was a barbecue and everything. Yeah. That's when we took Danny Maguire and Bob Burrows at 16 to play under 19s Academy International, and
at 16-year-old.
16-year-old, and they wiped the floor. We played in the middle of nowhere in North Island, New Zealand, and beat these men as they played under 20s and we were under 19s. But Bob was 16 with Danny Maguire. There's a few. Mike Gregg was coach and I managed it, and we beat them for the first time ever overseas. And we got a telegram from Rodney Walker, and it was a major achievement. Then we went to Australia, we won a game, and then they beat us in a game. So,
what would you have been? Sorry, would you have been supporting then if it had been happening this year, the World Club Challenge, Saints or Panthers?
I think I'd go for a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sit on fence, Nick. Sit on fence.
I don't know. It's different because I've still got a lot of pals across at Saints, but I know a few people are still at the Panthers, so it'd be a tough one.
Yeah. Well, on behalf of everybody concerned with us and all the supporters watching, thank you so much for this. We've had a blast tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for being part of this, Nick. Good luck with here for the rest of the year. We have a cracking season.
No problem at all.
And Nick, get Villa to come on.
I'll get Vila on, no problem. I was going to get him on tonight, but he's having a day off because Tubby's got him back in on Tuesday, hasn't he? So, yeah. But I will get him on. Yeah,
we
definitely.
will. Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good to see you. Bye for now. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. And he's the dad of Vila. Right, fellas. Yesterday. Come on. Let's do it now.
This is Mark's bit because obviously I weren't there. So
yeah,
I said a little bit before Nick came on, but obviously ugly, absolutely ugly. We knew we were going to be very difficult against them. They were going to be well up for it, and they're not a bad side. They're a good side, as I said. They'll easily hold their own in League Two. I thought I don't think we underestimated them, but I thought our performance was well short of the standard that Tubby would expect. I think was the words he used in his interview, and he even admitted that he took Isaac off at second off because he weren't playing well enough. He got like he needed a
he said he wouldn't have brought him back on. He says the only reason he brought him back on because Guzdeck got injured.
Yeah,
Guz got injured, and when Isaac came off, he stuck Villa and Guz at the halves, and then Guz got injured, which basically left Villa on his own. And good lad as he is, that's a big thing to carry. So he put Isaac back on, and we ended up with them two in the halves. I don't know who played hooker in the end. I think it was. I
was just gonna say to you, Mark, when Villa were in halves, who played hooker?
I think it was a bit of everybody, to be honest. 1 minute of
to be honest, in scrums it don't matter, does it?
Yeah. We had some sad news last week of one of the stalwarts of the Eagles supporters brand. He passed away last week, Dave Mappin. We're dedicating tonight's episode to Dave's memory and the love of everything with his family. And I know everybody concerned with us and everybody.
Yeah, well done, Dave.
Our deepest condolences to the family of Dave and everything. And we're going to miss him, even on the sidelines and everything. Eagles supporter through and through and everything. I'm hoping the club is going to do something for all the wonderful supporters that we've lost over the last 2 years since the start of this pandemic.
I believe the club are. Mark Hannigan has sort of intimated, there's a big word for this time of night, something, in due course. I think obviously the stadium sorted. Maybe like just a plaque on the wall in the new stadium saying in memory of everyone. Obviously can't name everybody, but in all those who we've lost. Because there's been a lot of them. It's a year just about since we lost Johnny Henderson.
John.
Really, is it a year? Is it?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, because it were in March. His funeral, what day I had my surgery? Because typical John, that his funeral, what same day I could go because I'm having surgery, and it called me all sorts of names for that. Yeah. But so it would have been like 2 3 weeks. So it's around about now. I can't remember exact dates, but
Mark,
it's a year.
How long is it since Scud went as well?
Scud's
it's about 3-4 years since Scud.
Really?
It was well before COVID, and I know it was. I think it was about 2018 because he didn't go to Wembley with us. Sadly, he would have loved that, but he didn't go to Wembley with us. I think it was a year before that.
Yeah.
But
can I tell you a funny story of Scud? Can I tell you a funny story? Scud one time. Everybody used to know remember Freddie and Kiddie, and I think this was '98. And Simon Annis couldn't do Kiddie 1 week; he was away. So Mike Turner, the manager, said, "Do you know anybody that will do it?" And he says, "And he's got to be small enough to get into the suit." And I went, "I know, just a kid." And I went, "Scud, are you busy Are you busy Friday night?" And he goes, "What?" I said, "We need a kiddie for you again playing against Salford." And he went, "Yeah, I'll do it." He had such a blast in that kiddie. Mike Turner gave him all these freebies and everything just to say thank you. He was on cloud 9, and he said, "Sack Annis." He says, "I want to do this for proper. I want to do it all the time." I said, "It was a one-off, mate." He goes, No. I loved it. And any freebie he could grab, he just grabbed it. Balls, jerseys, T-shirts. He grabbed the whole lot, and I went, "You go, sunshine, you go." And the
Why
next
not?
night he came to my house because we had a party or something like that. And he just hugged me and he cried his eyes out and he went, I have never, ever enjoyed myself so much as I did last night. Please, please tell me I've got another chance to be that little parrot. I'm like, he's not a parrot. And he went,
Little parrot.
he's a parrot. I don't care. But Scud was amazing that night. We had such a blast. And then after the match, we went there's the original tarts used to, penny black, and get absolutely ratted until midnight. Always went
very, very good.
Very good. But Scud was a gentleman. He was an absolute legend. He used to pull my hair merciful when I used to grow it. And he'd go, look at you hypocrite. Come here. And I'm waiting. Last time I saw Scud, England versus Wales at Doncaster. They played at Doncaster on a Friday night, and England hammered Wales something like 80-4.
Yeah, I was there. I remember it. Yeah, it was a right shoe-in.
Oh God! I took a friend of mine to his first ever game. He froze his nuts off that night. He was from West Indies, and he's like, I said, it's only October. What's wrong with you? And I need coffee. I need coffee. So that was his introduction to rugby league.
For a very long time, I didn't know Scud's actual name. So I only really found out properly because the first time we went to Toulouse in 2009, when they came in the first time, for some reason, which still I don't know, we had to fly from Bristol. So we had to drive all the way down there. And of course, he had to show his passport at the check-in. We found out that his name was actually David. And I honestly didn't know his name before that, just because he was always known as Scud. So I only found out his name because of that. And that was the same weekend I saw Menzies' passport, and Menzies not his real name either, but that's another matter.
And it's not his real age either.
Well, I'm not going to get into the hold of that, but if you believe Menzies' passport is younger than me, so go for that.
Well,
he's a year younger than me, so
I meant
how
to
do we get to that? I don't know.
I meant to say to Nick as well. I forgot to mention it. Where he signed for us, and then I think the week after he were injured.
Right.
And we had a guy who signed for us called Tiny Solomona.
Oh.
And Tiny was a piss tech because he were massive. But the first week he played, it was named as Nick Halafihi on the sheet, and we were like, "God, Nick's put some weight on in a week.
Yeah.
He's bulked up."
A big
This
mullet
guy
and
was
everything.
enormous. He was massive.
Yeah.
And I meant to mention it to him. I forgot, but I'll mention it when I see him again. But
right, people have been asking us to name the worst 13. You can do this in 10 minutes. I've got to get this in 10 minutes.
Worst 13.
Not the worst 13. Right. If Sheffield Eagles did a Masters team, you have to be aged over 35 and over. Who would you have in the 13? Any player that had to play a full season at the Eagles, 1 full year, and they had to play the Masters team over 35 years old. Who would you have?
Missy.
Number 1.
QLT.
Me and Chris are going to have an argument here. I know we are.
QLT.
Yeah, but they have to be English. There's no overseas players. We can do the overseas players.
No overseas players.
Yeah, got to be English. We'll do overseas. We'll do an overseas Masters team for the Eagles next week. Fullback. Gamma.
Fullback.
I'd put Gamma.
Or
David Michael.
Yeah. He were past it when he played for us, but I'd probably go for Keith Mumby.
Oh, good shout. Good shout. Yeah.
Mumby were class, but it was gone. He'd gone bit time. Number 2.
I know Mark's going to put in. He's putting for the wingers now for over 35s.
Probably Dave Nelson.
Yeah.
God bless his soul.
Yeah.
Nelson. Yeah. Plangy as well. Oh, we'll get to him later, actually.
Plangy.
Well, yeah, Plangy. Yeah, very good. Good shout. Yeah. So you see, my centre. One of my centres would be one of me all time.
Let's get wingers out of the way first. Let's do the 2 wingers and then we'll do centres.
Oh well, Dave Nelson's my winger. Are you going Plangy other side then, Mark?
I'm going Plangy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plangy, Nelson.
Andy,
no, I wouldn't have Andy.
I think English over 35 because a lot of our wingers have been, abroad wingers, so to speak.
Yeah.
So my centre, if we're having
Dave
Nelson, my centre, one of the best players. I always loved him with Eagles, and when we signed him, and I'll still say to this day, we're the best 20 grand we ever spent. Richard Price.
Oh, yeah. I've got his jersey.
Have you? We signed him from Hull, 20,000 quid, and I said he's the best 20 grand the club's ever spent.
Mark, if ever there's an unsung hero of Sheffield Eagles, it's Richard Price.
They were great. I loved him.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think the other centre's obviously got to be Darryl, hasn't it?
Not necessarily, because I'd put Darryl at 6.
Would you?
I would put Daz at 6 at standoff.
Right. English, I suppose.
4.
Yeah.
3 and 4 for me. Well, for me personally, because I always thought, God, I can't say Sampanapa's New Zealand. That's gone. Nah, can't have Sampanapa.
No. So who would you have as other centre if I'm having Richard Price?
Other centre. Oh.
Jimmy Ford.
Hey?
Jimmy Ford,
yeah.
James Ford, yeah.
James Ford, yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, all the 3 Eagles players are playing for Widnes tonight and they're losing 10-0 at the moment.
Are they?
Yeah.
Lee. But, you know.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Lee'll be up there. Lee'll be good. I know they got beat with Featherstone, but
everybody's going to get beat with Featherstone.
Oh, it's 16-0 now.
Uh,
So we've got the wing. So the centre, James Ford, yeah, right. Standoff, I'd say Dowell. I'd go Dowell.
Yeah.
Just for like 7.
You could go Tubby, you could go Tubby, you could go Don Brown Barney.
That's a good call. That's
David Close.
Oh,
Close.
He ever got the fair crack of the week with Close? I mean, he only came in when winning first division, when Tubby moved to 13 or played 6 in the Challenge Cup in the Premiership final.
David Close were good.
Close, he was a real hard little battle, weren't he? He were always the same. But I'd put Brambini in. That's hard, Tubby or Bramby, but I just could have put it that bit because Tubby would be coach.
So would we go at 8 with
number 8? Johnny Bruce.
Would you? Would you not put Beans there?
Beans or Jack?
Oh God! Oh yeah, Beans. Yeah, poor brother.
No, you've had Johnny Bruce now. You can't go back.
No, I can't. No, you can't do that to me. No.
We'll let you have Beans as other prop.
I was gonna put a stalwart. I was gonna put Hugh Waddell at the other prop or Gary Van Bellen.
Bless his soul, I'd have Huey as well.
See, well, one of mine would definitely have to be Dale Lawton.
Oh yeah, good call. Hold on, we've just missed the centre out. Keith Senior.
Keith.
Yeah, of course.
Just because he's on the pitch so much now, we don't class him as anything else.
No, he's just still playing, isn't he?
He keeps saying he can't play because his knee's no good, but he runs marathons and all sorts of other stuff.
Yeah.
He's born for Masters Rugby League, isn't he? He's born for it. He's absolutely born for that thing. Hooker. Joe. Now, is James Davey 35? 34?
Not sure.
See, I don't know. Again, I might see
Jackson. Cookie.
Would you put
Johnny? Cookie, wouldn't you?
Johnny Lawless. Rocky Turner.
Oh God!
Challenge Cup scorer, Johnny Lawless.
We've been blessed at hookers over the last 30 odd years. We have
Lance Cater. 2 games.
2 games.
I think 2. But but no, the hookers are. Like I said,
would you have, Mark? Or would you have?
Personally, Huey and Jack.
But
obviously, Beans as well. Yeah.
A prop,
Beans also would be on the bench, or Jack could be on the bench, or whatever. But yeah.
What about? Who would you have as your hooker, Mark?
Right. Bear in mind that in my era, we've not had that many sort of English hookers. I'm trying to think of any we've had that were that good. I mean, Craig Cook was outstanding.
Craig Cook were good. Yeah.
In sort of my time.
Did you remember? Did you Mick Cook? Did you remember Mick?
Well, I know of him.
I think Mick had left.
Rosalie, but I know of him, and I know what he's doing. Yeah.
Mr. Bender.
Player of the year 4 years in a row. Every year at the players do, it used to be like, right, who's got the other prizes? Because every player voted for Mick. He was that good.
Mr. Bendy were his nickname because he used to tackle him and bend him in half.
Oh, he was just a rock, weren't he?
He was a proper scavenger and all. He never took a backward step.
Yeah. The day they invented scrum caps on Mick Cook was the greatest invention ever for him, the poor lad.
Right, second row.
Pete Green.
Pete Green, yeah.
Good call, Peter Green, good call.
I'll pick Sonny Nicol or Derek Bridgman.
Sonny were good. English. See,
Mark Fleming.
I'd go. I were gonna save this lad for loose forward, but I might put him in at second row. Anthony Farrell.
Oh, Faz, yeah.
But I were gonna pick him as my 13. So
yeah. But would you have at 13 then? Would be your sorry, Mark. Who's your the second rower? You've got Pete Green.
Peter Green. Yeah.
Joe Hurst, probably.
Joe Hurst.
Well, another good one, yeah. Joe Hurst.
Oh, Joe Hurst could also go at me loose forward as well because he played anywhere along the front row pretty much. Yeah.
See so Anthony Farrell, my other second rower. Again, I'd probably chuck an old one in. Ian Hughes.
Ooh,
or Andy Young.
Andy Young, yeah.
But my 13's going to surprise you. Now
Go on in.
Farrell at I'm going to put Darrell at 13.
Really?
Okay. That's
yes.
interesting.
I put
Do you
Darrell
think
at
he played his best at 13 or centre or some loose standoff for Eagles?
I liked him at 13. He were good. But he were good everywhere, to be fair, weren't he? I think he were probably better as a centre, but I'd put him at 13 because he were good with ball, weren't he? So he's one of your main people, isn't he? So
yeah, always had a photograph when he ran with his gob open. You never got a photograph of Darrell Powell on a pitch on the Sheffield Eagles with his mouth shut ever. If anybody's got one, you've got the rarest thing in the world of Darrell Powell in an England Eagles jersey with his mouth shut. Every single picture I've seen, he's got his mouth open.
Would you pay more for that picture than you have for a shirt, Dean?
No.
Oh God,
I'm skint.
No,
I've just paid for my jerseys. I'm skint.
All right, go on then. 13, or would you have at 13?
I'm going to chuck another one in. Andy Smith.
All right, from one at OKR lads, yeah.
Absolutely rock solid at 13.
Yeah, very good. He were, yeah. You're right.
13.
English.
Sorry, I'm struggling. I mean, I'm struggling as in the sense I'm badly anyway, but I'm lagging there. But yeah, I'm fine.
What's up? You've not got the COVID, have you?
Oh no, it's not that. No, I was up in the night being a bit unwell into the toilet.
I'll pick one. I'll pick one. And he played there for half a season, and I know he did. And I'll pick him at loose forward. Mark Aston.
Mark
Aston played loose forward for the Eagles.
Yeah, but
88, 89, and that's when he got sent off against Cass and got banned for 8 games.
But didn't you say you got him in halves?
No.
Coach.
I got him as coach. I got him as coach, Anna. No, sorry. 13, Faz. I'd have Favell.
Would you? Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have Favell.
The overseas one would be good.
Oh, the overseas one. If you've got a couple of minutes, you can do that one if you want.
A couple of minutes will take longer than that, I think.
It could be a show itself, that one, Dino.
It could be, yeah, it could actually.
No, I think next week we'll do the worst 13 in history. The worst
13.
The worst 13 Sheffield Eagles players, just for a bit of fun. It's not no, but I'm definitely putting Alan Boothroyd in at props for that.
Well, you know my least favourite player is. We don't need to go the whole ground there. Funnily enough, they won in the cup yesterday over Dewsbury.
Is he called Oscar by any chance?
He didn't play. Funny that, isn't it?
Hope he plays next week.
I'm not kidding. Whenever we do that, he always comes out with his guys now, and I'm crying. It's just so funny.
I don't genuinely hate that many Eagles players. There's been a few that they weren't as good as they should have been, or they didn't realise the potential.
Aaron Groom.
I can't think of a perfect example. Damien Witter and all. I can't think of that many that actually really brass me off to an extent. But he were one of them. Not only was he a lousy player, he was just an absolute KNOB as a person as well, you know. And if he is that, you know, cheers, mate. You know, that's your.
I don't like this guy as a person for what he did to the Eagles, but the game that he did play for the Eagles, he got man of the match, and he was fantastic. It was at Workington. It was Derwent Park at September 19th.
Darryl Trindle.
Darryl Trindle. He was amazing.
One game.
He had one game for us. Realised that rugby league, he thought that rugby league was all like the grounds at Workington. Come off the pitch, told Peter Regan and Garrett, that's it, I'm going back home to Australia. And the next day he went home. He played one game. And if you went to Workington, you saw it, and everybody went, didn't they? Chris, we're going, this guy's amazing. We're going to have a right season here.
Yes.
He's a great standoff. We've got the replacement for Tubby, because I think Tubby just gone to Featherstone. Darryl Trindle was amazing, but
one game.
But we've had some more. I mean, Ian Russell was another one for me.
Ian Russell, yeah.
He came over just for a holiday.
Kevin Miller.
Oh God, yeah, Miller.
He was a big second row. A Kesnit second rower again, big love.
Yeah.
But when you look at the backs we've had, the Reparties,
Sam Panapa,
Charlie
Desmail,
McAllister,
QLT.
yeah,
Mizzy.
QLT, Menzie,
Gary
Lowe,
Joe Dokutonga
from Australia,
Malyaza,
yeah.
Wesley Savatabua.
Oh, we've had some Sean Willie,
Yeah. Cliff Lyons,
Australian, Cliff Lyons,
Cliff Lyons, Jeff Harding.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not in a name because I talk to him all the time. Carl Lovell. He was there for the 99 season.
Carl, yeah.
Carl Lovell was awesome. And what a laugh he was.
He scored winning try for us against Hull on Sky, I think.
Don't remember that. That's my worst nightmare.
Yes, we did. He did.
Yes, he did. That were on Sky, that.
Yeah, because as soon as final whistle.
That was one of my first ever, if not my first ever Eagles away game, that one, I think.
We played in Pepsi kit.
Yeah, 23-21.
Something like that, or 24-22. It might have been 23-21, Mark.
Yeah, but
with 2 points.
I was.
Carl Lovell scored winning try. Remember that?
I was the kit man.
On, weren't it?
Yeah,
I was the kit man that day.
But well, you should remember scored, eh?
Oh, that was amazing that day because literally I ran on the pitch because when we won, I forgot I was a trainer. I thought, kit man, I was a fan. When it came, I just ran straight on the pitch and I just grabbed Carl, and I can't exactly remember what I said, but I just grabbed him. And then when I watched it back on Sky, guess who's on? I was wearing a white Nike out at the time, and I was going, I went crazy. And
we all did.
I think it was when Tubby got the goal and we won us the game, 23-22. The Boulevard, everybody remembers the Boulevard. It was just, I was like, right, let's get off with his lives. And I just ran off the pitch. And the abuse Tubby got was just
typical of Boulevard.
Yeah. I've got another one. Hey, I've got another one for overseas. Darren Shaw. That'll be another name. There's going to be a crack in that one.
And what they call centre that played in Challenge Cup final.
Oh, Fatu Tewa.
Fatu Tewa,
yeah.
He went to OKR as well.
Yeah. That was a shock. I was upset when he went because I thought he was a cracking centre for us. And then John decided to get rid of him, Nick Pinkney, Paul Broadbent, and we signed Martin Pearson, Dio Powell, and Simon Baldwin from Halifax. Remember that?
Baldwin,
yeah. So they lasted long.
Another one for overseas as well. Paul Carr.
Oh God, that's another 20 grand that was well spent, weren't it?
From Hunslet, yeah. But
what is it with second rowers from Hunslet we found?
I don't know.
Tony Nicol and Paul Carr.
But the overseas one will be.
That'd be a cracker.
The overseas one, you could ask 10 people, and they'd pick 10 different teams.
Yeah.
Because there's that many. There's that many good ones.
Yeah.
Look at fullback. Look at fullback.
People, multiple positions as well. People like you've got 5, I think, 3 or 4 for every position.
Well, think about the fullback on its own. You've got QLT. You've got Waz Savatabua. You've got Gary Jack. That's just a fullback.
You can just go say it.
That is going to be unbelievable to pick the 13 from that one, which will be good.
That's going to be it.
Yeah. If you've been wanting for your kits, hopefully the kits should have been out last week, but they're not. So we're still waiting on Elite Pro Sports. They've got 70% off all the last year's kit. I might buy another jacket from last year. It's only 12 quid.
Thought you had no money.
I've got about 12 quid. Do you think I'm gonna miss out? New kits? No way.
Mark, that won't buy a picture of Donald Powell with his mouth shut.
No, but
Not 12 quid.
I think when they do come out, everybody's going to go nuts and buy them, and we can collect them on the first night of the new stadium. Friday, April 15th. I said it earlier on today. This Sunday should have been the opening of the stadium. We should have been having our first home game this week. This should have been the one against Workington.
Yeah, the Workington game, yeah.
Yeah, so when you look at the stadium now, and it's a blessing in disguise, really. It's just giving them that extra 6 weeks.
I had a look at it Friday night because I put a couple of photos on.
I've seen them, Mark Goodens as well, yeah.
Wonderful.
That middle floodlight's gone as well, the one in front of the stand.
Yeah.
That's gone. I think they're obviously gonna put something on the roof of the stand, I think.
You're gonna put them on front. You're gonna put them up front, I think, at top.
Yeah.
But
how does it look to you, Mark, when you go?
Oh, it looks outstanding. It looks absolutely brilliant, and I can't wait to get on with it now. I don't know if it'll be. Yeah, okay. I'm needed at bedtime, so I will.
Go.
All right.
No, it's all right. Sorry, Eric, for a minute, but I'll just say that the design of the seating looks great. The internals are still very much on the go. I'm not sure it'll be completely spit and polished inside when we get to use it, but
no.
But it doesn't matter. The fact is, it's there and we can use it, and that's
going to be in use. Yeah.
I think the little units at the side, which are going to be concessions and toilets or whatever, they look like they're done. But I think it's going to be a case of you don't go in the back of the stand and then out the tunnel. I think you're just going to walk along the front and up and get your seat for the time being.
Yeah.
Yes, there in the corner.
Right. I've got a world exclusive. I want to announce now what I will be doing on the first home match of the season. I'm back as the mascot.
Oh, you're going to be Eagle, man.
I'm Freddie. I'm going to be Freddie again for the first game of the season.
Yeah.
Freddie Krueger. Anyway.
I was asked this week by Mark himself. Mark says, we need a mascot. And I went, I'm 52. And he went, don't care how old you are. Do you want to do mascot? Says, yes. So I'm going to make sure that the head fits and everything. I am the mascot this year.
Do you know on about that? I think what they should do this year is, the mascots for the team when they come out. I think we should do that as fans. We should obviously grown men in a kit walk out with players.
Oh, no,
pay to do it. Pay to do it.
Oh, the old mascot from the 90s. That'd be good.
No, I'd pay to do that, to be mascot for one night to walk out with the players.
Right. That's it from me, guys.
All right, yeah.
All right, Mark.
See you next week, mate. Next Monday. All right, take care, mate.
Cheers, pal.
But I think next week.
I'd pay to do that.
Yeah, I think a lot of us would, won't we? I mean, but it'd be fun as in full Eagles kit with.
Yeah, be mascot. Or get 17 to come out holding hands with players.
But no, it's I've officially announced it now. I will be Freddie the Eagle again for one more time at the age of 3 weeks short of my 53rd birthday.
Once more around the block. Good man.
I can't believe it. I said I'd do it if they wanted to, but then I rang up I rang up to the office and got me jerseys, and then all I could hear in the background was Mark Aston going, "Is that Deano?" He said, "We need a mascot for the first game," and I went, "Oh, great, because I'll talk to you soon."
Brilliant.
Messaged, and then yes, it's confirmed. I'm going to get some elastics so the head does not come off me like it did at Wembley. So I'll be able to see. I'm getting everything sorted. This is I cannot wait. I really, really can't. Just why?
Brilliant.
Why? It's nearly 20 years since I first did it. That's the craziest bit about it. It's nearly 20 years. It's nearly 20 years since Freddie was born.
But you'd never say no though, would you?
In no way in this world would I say no to the Eagles.
No, ever. Exactly.
Since them first days back in the 80s to now, it's like we said earlier, we've got to have that first kit as a summer bash for the 40th. We have to. Just the white bits at the front with the claret at the top and the sponsor. The full kit
across here.
Even have
the claret and gold.
Yeah, claret and gold, like the England kit of the early 80s, like that one. Even if we can have the old badge of the first year, even the old Sheffield Eagles badge of the first year in a little patch, it would just make it so perfect for that in the 40th year to play in that first kit. And think of how much money people would buy that kit alone. It'd be out of the world. Elite Pro Sports get your heads in the game now. We're telling you what to get.
Yeah,
It's the
get
money
it done.
spinner, the 40th year jersey for the Eagles. Come on.
Send them designed in. Post it.
Or what would you have for the home kit? If you could pick any of the kits of the last 40 years, what would you have as a home kit? Would you have the red with the white V or the Pepsi shirt?
No, I'd have both. I'd have the white with the claret and gold on the top.
Yeah.
If you remember, the away kit then was gold
Yellow.
with the
Yeah,
white
gold.
and gold with the white and the red,
Yeah.
white and the same design, but instead of claret and gold on top.
Yeah, it was white and claret. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have the
Them-
two kits from the first season.
Oh yeah. Stop doing it to me.
For the
Take me
40
money now. Take me money now.
for the 40th season. I'd have the kits from the first 2 years.
First
For
year,
the
yeah,
first
definitely.
2 kits from the first season.
Yeah, definitely. That would be fantastic to have that. And I think everybody would agree with that one. But thank you very much for organising this one for tonight with Nick. It's been a
It's all
pleasure,
right,
my
pal.
man, as usual.
No worries.
Always a welcome invite. If you come on next week, we'll be doing the worst 13 and all the other bits and the
All right.
overseas 13. I'll see if I can get someone to pop on as well. Never know. I might even see if I can get a present player. See if I can-
Well, Nick said Vila would come on there.
Yeah, well, let's see what I can get. I've asked for, he's got his Twitter protected, so I'm waiting for him to
Right.
accept me. And apparently there's an Eagles chat Twitter now. I didn't even know this until yesterday. So now we've got Eagles chat on Twitter. I'm like, well, that would be a first, but
I
we're
tell you,
on.
it'll be decent to get on, and I don't know whether Tubby would get in touch with him for us. Jed Corcoran.
Jed, yeah, Jed, yeah.
Jed have a few stories, won't he?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. But yeah, we'll definitely see what we can get on next week anyway. But anyway, have a great day,
All right,
guys. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you all next Monday on another wonderful edition of Eagles Chat. Thanks to this gentleman, thanks to Mark, and many thanks to the man of the hour, Mr. Nick Halafihi, for coming on the show.
Take care, pal.
Take care, mate. See you soon.
Cheers,
Bye-bye,
Dean.
everyone.
Ta-ra,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.